how I sight in a rifle. Not saying you have to do it this way, saying I do it this way. I don't use bore sighters. I don't shoot 40,000 rounds and walk it in. If this takes you more than 10 rounds, something's wrong with your gun. Probably more likely something's wrong with you, but you get my point. So here's what you're gonna need. Tape, measuring apparatus, a ruler, a yardstick. Tape measure is probably gonna be your best bet. That's number one. A peen, ink peen. Number two. I think we got everything. You need a tape measure or measuring device, a pen, a calculator, which you have on your phone, or if you don't have one on your phone, just get a calculator. You know. Oh, before we get into this, for those of you who are going to ask, why do you need a calculator? I'm going to tell you. So, your scope, I'm willing to bet, is a quarter MOA at 100. It'll say that somewhere on your scope. Now, MOA is minutes of angle. Now, we can get into minutes of angle, minutes, milliradians, all that good crap in another video, but I'm not going to explain it here. So, all you need to know with your quarter MOA scope is that one click is 1/4 of an inch at 100 yards. 1 minute of angle just so happens to be about 1 inch at 100 yards. 1 inch at 100, 2 inches at 200, 3 inches at 300, 4 inches at 400. If you shoot a 4-inch group at 400 yards, that is still 1 minute of angle. But this video ain't for guys with custom-built rifles trying to ring steel at a half a mile. This guy's for people like me, people like you, that just want to go out and get the rifle zeroed at 100 yards and be able to put some meat in the freezer this weekend. I'm using an old county clerk sign. You don't have to use that, but I do recommend getting a broad target because you just need a broad target. If you happen to have the wrapping paper for Christmas with the 1-inch squares on the back, this will simplify things greatly if you have that wrapping paper. If not, you can get by with any kind of target. And we're going to put us just a nice little circle right here, something we can see at 25 yards. Got to bore sight it first. If it's a new rifle with a new scope, you probably need to bore sight it. So, what is bore sighting, you ask? This is one of those things I probably can't show you on the rifle because I'm not that good of a cameraman, but I can explain it. So I'm going to do that. When you look through your rifle, it's probably the barrel of your rifle. It's probably going to look something like this. This will be the crown of your barrel at the very end. This will be the rifling down the bore of your barrel, and this will be the lug at the base of your barrel. It may not look exactly like that, but I'm willing to bet it's going to be close. So you will position this on your target, and you will lock it in there. You don't have to have a vise. You can use a bipod and shove a bunch of sandbags or a coat. As long as you're not touching the rifle and you can get down, look through the barrel of the rifle and see the target, you're good. And then after that, after you get this centered up on your target without touching the rifle is sitting on the bench, in the vise, on the bipod, whatever, and you're centering the end of your barrel looking through the barrel, lining it up on whatever you want to see. You will then, without touching anything, move up and look through your glass, through your scope. Got to show you on the rifle here in a second. Okay, so let's say you have got a box at 25 yards. And you are looking, I'll color that in so we know it's a box, okay? And you are looking through the barrel and it's on the box. Back up, and of course your rifle is already properly leveled. The scope is already on top of the rifle, okay? And the box in question is right here. So it's lined up here, and then you rise up and look through the scope, and the box is here. You are then going to move your crosshairs with your turret right here for your elevation and your windage, and you are going to go click, 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 until this box is centered on this crosshair. So it is now centered in your barrel and centered on your scope. So after you move your reticle, it should look something like that at 25 yards. I'm not a very good teacher, guys, I promise. I'll show you, I will try to show you what I'm talking about with the bore sight thing. We got to make sure we got our 70s trucker glasses. Nobody can take us seriously if we don't have these on. Remember, we haven't even touched live ammo yet. We're not firing anything until this is close enough to the target that we can see it in the barrel and see it in the scope. Okay, I just so happen to have a tipped-in vise. You may not have a vise. You may have a bipod with some sandbags under it, as long as the rifle is stabilized. Yeah, that's real stabilized race car. As long as the rifle's stabilized. So this is legitimately how I bore sight all my rifles. This is locked in, and I'm willing to bet that that's not going to center. Of course it's not. Wonderful iPhone. Wonderful iPhone! I use my mailbox, which so happens to be 27 yards. That, it is centered in the bore of my barrel, down here. It is centered through the bore of my barrel when I step back here and look at it. And then when I rise up, it's right there. I know the crosshairs look high. This rifle is sighted in to be high. See what I'm saying? As long as when you're bore sighting, it is right around your windage and your elevation on your scope and your crosshairs, you're going to be all right. Remember, we're starting out at 25 yards. If you start out at 100, you're just going to wind up chasing holes around with, that's senseless. Don't be wasting ammo. I was actually going to shoot some today, but I'm not going to waste the ammo either, especially on a rifle that's already sighted in. But I am going to show you how to do it. So we got our big target here like we talked before, and we're nestled in back there at 25 yards. This target's set up at 25 yards. We hold the crosshairs of the scope dead on the money. We fire around, and we blow a hole right here. That's awfully far from where we want to hit, isn't it? Let me show you how to remedy that. Remember what I said about the tape measure? Okay, so we know at 25 yards, we are roughly 7 inches to the right. And we're just eyeballing here. We're going to line that up about where we think's level. And we are roughly 9 inches low. 7 inches to the right, 9 inches low at 25 yards. Remember what I said about that scope being a quarter click at 100? This is where you're going to need your calculator. Okay, so I'm going to do this one-handed because I don't have a way to hold my phone. So we were aiming here. We hit, say here, okay? And then we said that we needed to bring that bullet 9 inches up and 7 inches. What the hell was that? That's not a 7. No. 7 inches to the left. Up. Okay. So we got that. We're at 25. Go ahead and write this down. 25 yards. All right. Remember that we said our scope somewhere on it is going to say 1 click equals 1/4 inch at 100. It'll say something to that effect. I'm willing to bet if you have a common scope, it's probably going to be a 1/4 MOA at 100 yards, right? Right. So that means is 4 clicks equals 1 inch at 100. So that must mean that 58 clicks equals 1 inch at 50. So we're going to go ahead and do it again. 16 clicks equals 1 inch at 25. The very same way, at 200, 1 click would be 1/2 of an inch. At 400, if it's a 1/4 MOA scope, 1 click would be 1 inch. We've only fired 1 round so far. This just got us on paper. So we're going to come over here. We know that It's a 1/4 inch at 100, 1/8 of an inch at 50, and a 1/16 of an inch. Or, you know, yeah, let's write that down. Let's write that down. 1/16 of an inch, 25, 1/8 of an inch, 50, 1/4 inch at 100, right? Remember, we're at 25 yards, and we need to go 9 inches up and 7 inches to the left to be close. So, we're obviously at 25 yards. We've discovered that 4 clicks is 1 inch at 100, 8 clicks at 50, and 16 clicks at 20. So, we're going to go ahead and adjust our height first. So, we've got 9 inches times 16. Because we got to go 16 clicks per inch. We got to go up 9 inches. So, that would be, if we got to go up 9 inches, and there's 16 clicks, we're going to go up 144 clicks. We got to go up 9 inches, 1600. We're going to go 144 clicks up, and we're going to go 112 clicks to the left, and that's going to put our point of impact pretty close to that center. So, 2.5 inches low. Okay, so we hit 2.5 inches low at this is 100 yards, which is where most people are going to sight in their deer rifles. Remember, guys, we're only like 4 shots into this so far. So now we're going to do math for 2.5 inches. Well, we know that 2 inches, if it's 4 clicks equals an inch at 100 yards, that 2 inches must equal 8 clicks. And now we need to only do that before I lose track. So now we're only got to go up 1/2 inch to get to where we want to be. So if 4 clicks is an inch, that must mean that 2 clicks is 1/2 inch. So to get 2.5 inches, it's going to be 10 clicks at 100 yards to bring us up. Okay. So you did that. You did your math. You moved up your 10 clicks. You let your barrel cool down. Always let your barrel cool down between shots. Don't go John Wayne in it. And you hold her on, and it blows the top of this diamond out. You are right on the money where you want to be. So you let your barrel cool down again, and you shoot, and you hit right here. This is a 1 inch square, for example. And then you let it down again, you send another one, and it hits here, and then it hits here, because that's probably going to be about common for most. You're probably not going to blow the same hole out every time if you're new to rifles. And then you got to factor in what's accurate to you. I will not own a rifle that does not shoot a 1 inch group. For no other reason than I will chase my tail with stocks, triggers, scopes, optics, and everything, trying to make it shoot 1 inch. I'm an accuracy nut. So let's work through some examples here because, you know, I feel like we should. Okay, so let's say you're at 50 yards. That's the target. That's where we're shooting. That's what we're aiming at. If we were at 50 yards and we hit the paper, call that 8 inches. So we need to go 8 inches to the left at 50 yards. So we said that it's a 1/4 at 100 and it's an 1/8 at 50. So 8 clicks is going to be an inch at 50 yards. So 8 inches times 8 clicks is going to be 64 clicks to the left. And that should put you pretty close. Another example. Say we're at 100 yards. And we hit 10 inches high and 4 inches to the left. I gotta put that 100 right in the way, didn't I? Okay, so we're 10 inches. We need to go 10 inches low. 10 inches low. We need to drop 10 inches and we need to go to the right 4 inches. So we're at 100 yards and it's a 1/4 at 100. So 4 clicks is an inch. So times 4 clicks. We need to go 16 clicks to the right. And then we need to go 40 clicks, 4 clicks down. And that should put us pretty close. Basic mathematics. I know I may be kind of mansplaining some of this, but there's a lot of guys. I had guns for quite a while before I figured this out. And then once I figured it out, it was like all my buddies and my dad, I was like, did you guys know this? They're like, yeah. I was like, well, I didn't. So if you guys are new to sighting and rifles, new to guns, that's great. That's awesome. But this is going to save you a lot of time. What do we do? 7 shots here? Maybe. So deer season's coming up this weekend. If you guys don't know how to sight in rifles, I taught you everything you need to know to sight in rifles and not have to go refinance your home on ammunition. And it'll save your shoulder too if you're shooting the magnums. So I think that's all for today, guys. Everybody be safe this weekend. Use your heads. Do the things you know you should do. Don't do the things you know you shouldn't do. Be safe. If you guys get one on opening day, you need to send it to me because I want to see pictures of dead deer. So we may even do a little deal posting on TikTok. So anyway, you guys have a great day.